day 27 of watching the 100 worst movies of all time according to Rotten Tomatoes, and today's movie was Meet the Spartans, and we watched another parody movie. It's currently sitting at a 2% on the tomato meter with 48 reviews. So as I briefly mentioned in the intro, this is another one of those parody movies that came out in the late 2000s, early 2010s, which just tried to fit whatever they could into it. So this was released in 2008, so it came out a couple years after Epic Movie, and actually in the same year as Disaster Movie, and it came out shortly before it. So I didn't even realize that they had two movies coming out in the same year. So the main movie that this one parodies is 300, and they kind of actually keep a similar plot with Leonidas, you know, going along with the soldiers. So I did like that this did have somewhat of a consistent story and kind of plot line to it in comparison to Disaster Movie, which I did review a couple days ago. These movies, of course, are just obviously not the best quality. However, this one actually had a lot of different things that it referenced that they didn't reference in any of the other ones. And one of those being the reality game shows that were really big at that time, such as American Idol, America's Next Top Model, Dancing with the Stars, and Deal or No Deal. So the fact that they were able to fit in each of those in their own little segments, I found kind of just random to see. They also had a whole segment where they were telling Yo Mama jokes, and I actually forgot that those were even a thing too. And lastly, they even featured some food places and just food items in general, so I thought that was kind of random too. I wasn't sure if it was product placement or they just wanted to include it because people were consuming it at the time. But Subway, Coffee Bean, as well as some chewing gum was also featured in here too. And it was actually pretty cool being able to rewatch these parody movies when I was older compared to when I was a lot younger when these had originally came out. So I gave this movie a 1.5 star rating because, as I said, it wasn't terrible, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't even great. But you know what, it was still kind of on par with Epic Movie, not as bad as Disaster Movie, but not as good as Vampires Suck. Make sure to drop a follow to stay tuned on which bad movie I watch next.